Hey friends, I can't believe that we're already at the last chapter of his revolutionary love. I hope that you have not only grown closer to each other, but grown closer to God too through this experience. Well, this last chapter is on friendships, and I put it last because I think friendships are so important in our lives. God made us to need one another and to need good friends. And the place to begin developing those relationships is when we know what a good friend is. Now, I'm going to talk today about being a bullseye friend. And if you don't know what that is, make sure you go back and read chapter 9. I believe that Jesus was the ultimate bullseye friend. And he showed that in the relationship that he had with Mary and Martha and Lazarus, who were a family that he was really close to. One of the times that we see Jesus interact with Mary and Martha and Lazarus is in John chapter 12. And it is in this situation that Mary comes to him and she has a bottle, a very expensive bottle full of very, very expensive perfume. And she takes this perfume and she pours it on Jesus' feet. Now, that sounds really weird to me. I mean, even in Bible times, I think that was considered weird. But here's what Mary was trying to say. She was trying to tell Jesus that the most important thing I have, I want to give that to you. And so it was the ultimate act of love that she could think about. Now, there was someone in the room at the time who was considered to be one of Jesus's friends, one of his 12. And his name was Judas. Now, when Judas saw what Mary was doing, he was infuriated. It wasn't that he was infuriated because he had great motives. He was mad because it was known that Judas was the treasurer. So he had this idea that the perfume should have been sold for money and then the money given to the treasury. And it wasn't so he could do something great like give it to the poor, because it was known that he would sometimes stick his own hand inside the money bag. So Judas goes off on Mary and says that what she's doing is stupid and wasteful. And at that point, Jesus stands up for her. He stands up for her with one of his own friends. The thing that Jesus demonstrates to us is that a bullseye friend, a true friend, has your back, not talks behind your back. See, Jesus could have waited until Mary left the room, and then he could have said something like, wow, that was really weird. Or he could have agreed with Judas and said, yeah, it was pretty wasteful, but hey, she doesn't know any better. Now, Jesus is perfect, so he obviously wouldn't pick anything that would have hurt Mary. But he demonstrated to us that a true friend has your back, not talks behind it, no matter what the circumstances are. That's the kind of friend I want to be. I want to be the kind of friend where my friends know that no matter what they do, whether it's dumb or I disagree with them, I'm going to go to them, not talk behind their back. After this message today, could you take just a couple of minutes, you and your mom, and go through and read Matthew 18? Because in Matthew 18, it tells us exactly what to do when we have conflicts in our friendships and when we need to talk about things that are uncomfortable or things that are hurting each other's feelings. He gives us the plan and exactly how to handle when we offend one another. So our first step is a bullseye friend. A true friend has your back, not talks behind it. Now there's another place in the Bible in Luke chapter 10 where Jesus again has an interaction with this family, with Martha and Mary and Lazarus. Now this time, Jesus is coming over to dinner, and Martha, who's all into making things look nice, is in the kitchen and she's cooking away. And Mary just wants to be with Jesus. She doesn't really care what they're serving for dinner. She doesn't really care what the house looks like. She just wants to be with the one that she loves. Well, that just won't work for Martha. So Martha comes to Jesus and says, hey, can you tell her to get in here? So again, we see Jesus in an uncomfortable situation when it comes to friends. And here's what we learn from Jesus this time. A true friend tells the truth. A true friend tells the truth. See, again, he could have said something to Martha that would make her feel better. Yeah, I know, Mary's not being helpful, but hey, she'll be in a few minutes. He could have said, you know what, Martha, what you're doing is really absolutely, wonderful, and I'm sorry that Mary's just not your same personality type. He doesn't. He doesn't find a way to brush it off. Instead, he tells Martha the truth. The truth is, Martha, that Mary is doing what is most important. Jesus did the hard thing in his friendship. He told Martha the truth. And I know that you know that lots of times that is not easy. It's easy to just shake our head and agree with someone rather than tell them the hard thing, the thing they don't want to hear. But that's how our relationships grow. And that's how we have true bullseye friend. So a bullseye friend will have your back, not talk behind it. And a true friend always tells the truth. I sure have enjoyed this time with you, and I hope that you have too. And I'm kind of sad that we're at the end, but you know what? Aaron has promised me that this fall when my new book comes out, Magnetic, Becoming the Girl He Wants, we get to do this again. And I think you're really going to love this book. So keep digging into God's Word, keep finding ways to connect with each other, and I'll be sure and connect up with you this fall. Thanks.